Good morning, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. We had a bit of a storm here last night. I don't know what it was like where you are, but here in Kent we had some almighty winds. I'm surprised that we didn't have trees down. We've got quite a few large trees in the garden, luckily nothing. But this morning it's peaceful, it's quiet. There's a bit of cloud in the sky, the remnants of the storm have passed, I hope. It rained a lot as well, so there's a lot of water everywhere. And I've come out today with the dog up to the top of the hill, about a mile from my house. And basically, I've got a tree that I've always loved taking a picture of, and it's this one here. Very, very featureful tree. I'll just stand further back and let you see it a bit better. As you can see, it's a very fine, mature tree, and it's all in glorious fall colouring, as you'd expect for 1st of November, or very close to end of October, beginning of November. And in the area around here, there's a lot of, they are sweet chestnut trees, and they're quite broad-leafed, and they're all nicely in colour, and there are a wide variety in this area behind me here. Of different bushes, all in different shades of autumnal colours. And because it's damp, it's only finished raining about an hour ago, everything's really vibrant, the colours are vibrant. So I've come up here very lightly equipped today, and all I've got with me is the little RX100, which used to be my vlogging camera before I got the one that I'm vlogging on here. And I've got the lightest and smallest of tripods here. So I'm travelling really light. I'm just going to see if I can get any images that do justice to the conditions that we've got up here. So wait, I'll get set up and then I'll talk you through one of the shots I'm going to take. Okay, I've got the framing that I want for this shot. It's quite a simple framing. I'm just basically got the tripod just there, and tiny little RX100 on top. Looks a little bit diminutive on top of a tripod even as small as that, but it's a very capable little 20 megapixel camera, and I've been very startled by the results I can get from it. And to be quite honest, I didn't want to bring all the other gear with me today. And that's the dog chasing a pheasant, I suspect. Yes, almost certainly is. Anyway, to the shot. I'll take you over and show you the back of the camera so you can see what it is that I've framed up. It's a portrait orientation shot, as you can see there, and it's just a simple, stark, there's the dog, there is the tree. It's got quite a lot of sky in the picture. I can't actually exclude that easily, so I'm hoping that in this area here, this foliage which is over there, which the sun's just picking up and backlighting, will actually add quite a bit to the image. And I'll have to obviously take probably a couple of exposures and exposure blend it. I think the sky might well be blown out, but I wouldn't want to guarantee it is or not. So I'm going to take that shot. Ubiquitous 2-second timer. It's focused on the trunk of the tree. This camera only goes down to f11, so that's got to be pretty much the narrowest aperture I can use, or the smallest aperture. That should still give me a reasonable depth of field. So let's get that shot, and I'll exposure blend it. So what I'll do is I'll wind the exposure down to stop the highlights in the sky being blown out. Take a second shot, and because the dynamic range of this particular camera isn't quite as good as my A7R4, I'll take a third shot, which is actually with the compensation wound up to about 1.5 plus 1.5, which will give me a lot of detail in the foreground. The shadows and the trees got some quite dark, wet roots coming down, and they'll be quite dark, so I want the detail in those. So that's that shot. That's looking quite promising. I'm hopeful for that. The sun is just, as you can probably tell, it's glinting off me. It's just poking out from behind some clouds. There's some nice opportunities for some backlighting with golden autumnal leaves. So I'm going to go and mooch through this little coppice and see what else we can get. So. Well, when I said earlier that I was hoping it wasn't going to rain, I'm not sure that it isn't going to rain. As you can probably see, I was certainly away from the sun, pointing sort of northeast or northwest over this way. The sky is really quite dark and foreboding, which is actually, with the low sunlight hitting the trees sideways on, it's creating some nice images. An example of which would be just over my right shoulder here. See this tree is being lit up nicely in the distance by the low sun, and if I can get close enough to get a half decent shot of that, I might well get that, because that dark sky behind it just gives it so much sort of vibrance, and it's still got the remnants of some leaves, which after last night's storm I'm very surprised about, because my garden's literally full of leaves, but there are still a few on that tree, so I'm going to see if I can get a shot of that now. Okay, I've walked down the hill a little bit and I'm looking up at that impending storm heading this way. I'd be lucky to get back to the car without getting wet, I suspect. But I just wanted to point out something here. Here is a sign, National Trust sign. It says Gover Hill National Trust, blah. And in this sort of language here, which no one in this country seems to be able to understand, or very few people can understand, it actually says don't leave litter, no lighting of fires, no damaging trees or plants. Now, I can read that, but it's amazing that there's a very, very large number of people in England who can't. Well, I'm being sarcastic, of course, but it really upsets me the way some people treat the countryside that they're in. They just abuse it, throw litter, and just generally don't take notice and aren't careful. Just assume they have a right to do it. Dreadful state of affairs. Anyway, I'm hopeful I might get another shot, but the cloud is coming over the sun quite quickly, so that striking lighting that I was talking about is rapidly disappearing. So I'll see if I can get another shot quickly. Speak to you in a minute. The rain's starting. I'm a quarter of a mile from the car. I'm going to get drenched. Well, maybe not quite as far as about 400 or 500 yards, but it is definitely starting to rain. So it's back to the home, get the images off the computer or onto the computer and see what we've got, and I'll see you back home. Thanks for watching. Well, a bit out of breath, walking rapidly up quite a high steep hill that's slippery and muddy, but you can hear the rain. There's the car. I've only got 50-80 yards to walk, so luckily I haven't got that wet. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this somewhat amateurish movie. I hope you gained something from it. And I hope one of the messages that comes across is that you don't need to have a £5,000 camera to actually take some half-decent images. Because the little RX100 is it's about £1,500, which for a compact seems a lot, but it's a very capable camera. So, back home, back into the car.